everyone, I'm Fiona MacDonald, Group Export Sales Director for Walker Books. We also represent the Andersen Press list, and now I'm very happy to present highlights for their list for the second half of this year. So starting off with picture books, Will You Be My Friend? So this is a humorous paperback picture book from award-winning Russell Ito. It's about a cute bush baby looking for a friend, and it's got a twist at the end. It's really lovely art. Russell has won the Roald Dahl Funny Prize, the Book Trust Early Years Award, and the Nestlé Children's Book Prize Gold Award, and has twice been shortlisted for the Kate Greenaway Medal. Right, Duck and Penguin do not like sleepovers. So this is an insight into the secret life of toys. Duck belongs to Betty and Penguin belongs to Maud. Toys go everywhere the girls go, and that includes spending the night outside in a teeny tiny tent, which is something the toys just aren't sure about. Children love sleepovers and will enjoy hearing about one that didn't quite go according to plan. Julia Wolfe has an MA in Children's Illustration from the prestigious Cambridge School of Art, and she has worked in animation for 20 years. How to Be a Real Ballerina. Find your inner dancer with this beautifully diverse ode to ballet, as told by an aspiring ballerina. There is a lot to learn about being a ballerina, but when the time comes and you walk onto the stage, all the hard work is worthwhile. The author is also an editor. The illustrator is Norwegian, and her style is bright and colourful with lots of texture. Fergal meets Ferns. So this is book 3 in the little mini series about Fergal, who finds it hard to control his fiery temper. So a new egg arrives, and out of it hatches a baby sister. Fergal bottles up all of his feelings of anger, worries and jealousy. But then he finds when he unburdens himself to his dad, he finds out what a brilliant big brother he can be. So it's a sibling rivalry story, encouraging children to share their feelings. And as we know, children do love dragons. Polar Express Christmas Book and Gift Box. So this is a beautiful Christmas gift box for this classic picture book, Polar Express. It contains a gift edition, mini hardback edition of the book, a bell from Santa's sleigh, fold and send letter to Santa templates, North Pole stamp stickers, and decorative Polar Express stickers to seal your letters. This year it's the 30th anniversary of the first publication of this book, and 12 million copies have been sold worldwide. It's a New York Times bestseller and a New York Times Best Illustrated Book, and it's also the winner of the Caldecott Medal, and this is the perfect Christmas gift. So moving on to young fiction and middle grade. Count. This is fiction for age 7+, written by Melvin Burgess. Brandon's a boaster. He says he's brilliant at lots of things. Then he is challenged to count up to 10 million. So Brandon starts 1, 2, 3, and before long he's up to 1,000. And Brandon can't stop counting. The higher he counts, the more everyone takes an interest. When Brandon reaches 30,000, he goes viral. By the time he gets to 1 million, he has a manager and a stadium full of fans counting with him. And then strange, impossible things start happening. The numbers are taking over everything. So this is a fun and contemporary story about the rise and fall of fame. Melvin is a Carnegie Medal winner for his title Junk, and this is the youngest fiction Melvin has ever written. The book is illustrated by Chris Mould, who's an illustrator of children's books and also draws satirical cartoons for national newspapers in the UK. So next, Dog. Understanding Your Very Best Friend. So this is a non-fiction title. It's a handbook for dog owners that helps you understand how your dog thinks and what he needs. The information is presented in a fun way. There are hilarious and quirky illustrations. It's really nice for children to have their own handbook on looking after their dog. John Bradshaw, the author, is an anthrozoologist, an animal welfare scientist, and a best-selling author of dog and cat books for adults. This is his first children's book. So, Zippl, the little keyhole ghost. This is fiction for age 7+, illustrated by Axel Scheffler. It's a story about Paul, who comes home one day to find a tiny ghost who is now living in his keyhole. They become great friends, but then Paul's parents decide they need to change the locks. Can Paul find a new home for Zippl in time? So this is a funny story about finding friendship in unexpected places. The author is a renowned German journalist, and it was voted of one of 2018's 50 best books by Brigitte magazine. House in the Woods. So moving on to middle grade. This is the first in a new series. It's point horror meets Stranger Things. When three friends play with a Ouija board in an old house at Halloween, what starts out as fun descends into something terrifying as a distressed and determined spirit follows them home. Yvette Fielding is a very well-known TV personality in the UK. She's British TV's First Lady of the Paranormal, and she is a passionate believer in the existence of ghosts. So Endling. So this is the final installment in the New York Times best-selling middle grade fantasy trilogy, and the author is a Newbery Medal winner. So moving on to young adult books, Cane Warriors. So this is new in paperback, and it's a page-turning thriller based on the true events of a slave rebellion on a sugar plantation in 18th century Jamaica. The story is told through the eyes of a 14-year-old boy caught up in the rebellion. Alex Wheatle, the author, he was born in London to Jamaican parents. He became interested in the history of slavery. And in his research, he came across the story of Tacky's War, which was one of the most well-known rebellions of the period. And the rebellion was on a small island in the Caribbean near Jamaica. And as Alex was carrying out the research, he found out that coincidentally his ancestors were actually from the same island, so he may well be descended from the very slaves from the island. So amazing. So this was voted a book of the year by the Times, the Sunday Times and the Observer, three of Britain's leading national newspapers. And Alex is a winner of the Guardian Children's Fiction Award, so he's a highly acclaimed writer. He's also a poet. He's known as the Bard of Brixton. Brixton is an area of London. And he's been awarded an MBE for his services to literature. So, In the Wild Light. This is a story of grief, found family, and young love. Cash and his best friend Delaney have both known tragedy, but a new start at an elite school promises a brighter future. Can the two leave their painful past behind? So this is one of BuzzFeed's 2021 YA books to look forward to. Jeff Zentner's first three novels have been widely acclaimed. The Serpent King won the American Library Association Morris Award for Best Debut YA, the Elizabeth Warden Book Award for YA fiction, and was longlisted for the Carnegie Medal. Jeff's previous books have been praised by Rainbow Rowell, Jennifer Niven, Becky Albertalli, Nicola Yoon, and have appeared on numerous best book lists, including BuzzFeed, Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, and Barnes & Noble. And Jennifer Niven described The Serpent King as she said about it. It has some of the most beautiful writing I've ever read. Junk by Melvin Burgess. So this is the 25th anniversary edition of this award-winning classic YA novel. So it's being reissued for a new generation. This is a vivid depiction of a group of teenagers in the grip of addiction. It's told from multiple viewpoints, and it's a powerful, unflinching novel about heroin. It was hugely controversial when it won the Carnegie Medal. People asked if it was suitable for children. Also won the Guardian Fiction Prize, and we're reissuing it with an eye-catching photographic cover. There's now going to be an introduction from Mallory Blackman. There's a bonus section with material from Andersen archives on the book's controversial history, as well as a new piece from Melvin looking back over 2 decades of junk. So finally, a non-fiction book for young adults, Know Your Rights and Claim Them. This is a non-fiction handbook on the highly topical subject of youth activism for age 12+. It's published in association with Angelina Jolie and Amnesty International. It's a book about your rights as a child and how to claim them. There are 15 rights of the child drawn up by the UN Convention on Rights of the Child. Many countries have signed up to them but routinely ignore them. Rights include racial equality, free expression, the right to health, the right to an education, clean climate and a sustainable environment. So the book explains how you can join a campaign or how to build one from scratch. And Angelina is passionate about this subject. So what she's done is she's joined forces with Professor Geraldine von Buren, who was one of the people who drew up these rights, and Amnesty International. It has a clean, clear layout to the interiors, and the book has a quote from Greta Thunberg, which says, "Children are the future. This is the perfect book for young people who care about the world and want to make a difference." And also a quote, there's going to be a quote from Malala on the book. And she said, "We can stand up for our rights once we understand them. This book is a guide for every child and young person who believes in liberty, equality, and a better world for all." And these quotes will be shared online in PR and will be on the back cover as well. So that's the end of the presentation. Hope you like the books, and thank you so much for watching.